Hello.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Hi,
Uh,
hi.
Hey, we've got a guest presenter with us today. Just refused today.
The more the merrier.
How are you, though?
Mm. I'm well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm living, I'm alive, right? So that's what counts.
When someone says that, kunendaba, yabo?
There's always, there's always indaba.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Mm.
Anyway, Kefilwe, thank you for availing yourself and giving of your time for this conversation. So, you see, this guy, I trained him what not to do, and he's already doing what he was not supposed to do. um, Thanks again, but I think for the benefit of our audience, our guests, wherever they are, we've got a few people that have joined so far. Can you tell us who is Kefilwe? Kiman, Kefilwe.
The day we get rid of that question on earth.
Yeah, it's not going anywhere.
Yay. Okay, who's Kefilwe? So basically, Kefilwe is a very young lady, very, very young. That's a fact that's always surprising to many people when I tell them my age. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very young woman um, who leads a very simple life, right? Very bubbly, very curious, an individual who thrills under constantly changing environments, um, yeah, I thrill under constantly changing environments. I love entrepreneurship. I love anything that has to do with small businesses. I love everything that has to do with fitness and being healthy. And
Mm,
just really, my biggest focus is about constantly growing and developing as an individual, right? And
yeah, yeah,
self ownership and owning your things and creating your own things. That's
yes,
a lot of who I am and what I focus on and what I thrive
yes,
on. Just being able to grow myself, to develop myself in all areas of my life and
yes,
constantly challenging myself to do better, and then also challenging others to constantly do better and improve their lives. So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
who I am. I'm a very talkative person, I'm very
Mm,
loud at times. And yeah, that's in it just who Kefilwe
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I want to take you back to a certain time. I don't know if you remember how you and I met, ne? or or came to interact, but it was on Twitter. And I think I don't remember if I followed you or you followed me first, but I came across one of your tweets around career related stuff. It was just one of those, the kind of content that you really have to dig and scratch to get to in a space like Twitter. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
Where there's easily a lot of toxicity and all of that kind of stuff. So two things, because you are the one who put it out there. Uthe you're a young lady, so I think the people want to know ukuthi young kangakanani Kefilwe. And then the other thing is, you've mentioned a couple of things in your response. And one of them was, you mentioned your passion for fitness, your passion for entrepreneurs, and all of that. Unpack that for us, ne? After you've told us how young you are, etc. And as well as what does that mean in terms of what you do in your day-to-day activities, and maybe what people that are watching, how they can benefit from connecting with yourself.
Okay. Here they
Yeah.
say a lady doesn't tell her age, guys, but
I get to
I
watch
will do
it,
this
but
because
yeah.
it's also very inspirational, because I also
Yeah.
sometimes get shocked at my own age and just, with everything that I get to do and the opportunities that have come my way. And I'm just really, really blessed. So I'm 24 years old, going into 25 in September.
Sure.
Right? Yes. I'm not saying I'm Oprah. I'm not saying I'm Michelle Obama. But I just really, really feel blessed that at this age, I've been able to grasp what my purpose is, what my passion is, and what work really, really fulfills me. And just being given the opportunity to be able to do that. Because we take for granted that it's not everybody who has a choice to become who they want to become or to live the kind of life that they want to live because of many other pressures, can be social pressures, can be family pressures or responsibilities. That end up leading them to live or do work or get into careers that they don't want to. But at this age that I'm at, I'm really, really, truly grateful that I've been able to dictate and direct my own life, which a lot of my peers don't always have that kind of opportunity. So unpacking entrepreneurship, being in the fitness space, and honestly, when I realized certain things about me, I realized that we often take for granted that what I might know, somebody else doesn't know. We often take for granted that what I'm good at or what comes natural to me doesn't come natural to other people. You understand? And when growing up, entrepreneurship, business ownership, coming up with creative business ideas always came natural to me from a very, very young age. I've had multiple small businesses growing up. I've opened a spaza shop while I was still in primary school. I've opened a modeling agency. I've opened a tutoring after school care. I was very young at that age. And surprisingly, I was charging like 2 rands, 5 rands, for the kids to come and be part of what I do. And at that time, I didn't know that was entrepreneurship. That was me being business-minded and being direct towards the career or path of going into business ownership or entrepreneurship. I didn't know. For me, it just came naturally. I would wake up and be like, oh, what can we do today? All right, I'm going to open an after-school care, a tutoring, whatever, and taking pieces of papers from my school, bringing them back home, calling the kids on the street, their parents coming, giving me 2 rands, the kids sitting around me, I would teach them. It just flowed naturally. And then as I grew up, it just became a constant thing. From going to my high school, going into my varsity, still had businesses. I was from selling eggs. I used to sell eggs. I used to bake cookies, to sell cookies. Anything that could give me an extra source of income as a university student, I did it. And that's also where fitness came from, because I used to be naturally athletic and I used to keep active to a point where people would start noticing that and then asking me to help them also do the same. And then they were willing to pay me for that. And then I was like, oh, okay, this can be a business, Before I changed my business name to Grandest Version, it was called Student on a Budget Fitness. So, once then I transitioned from university and I couldn't do the student group anymore, then I had to give it a more mature name. So that background shows that growing up, I've been naturally drawn to something that today you look and it's not everybody, it's not this kind of thing, ideation, coming up with a business and really seeing it through to a point where it can sustain you, doesn't come naturally to other people, and it came naturally to me. Then I started being very resourceful. Being resourceful is another talent or skill of mine, and grasping things very easily, knowing if I want to do this, how do I get it? Quickly, I would get that, I would get that resource, I would get that network, I would get that. And then I was like, I can actually teach people how to not be like me, but build that kind of mentality and that kind of, creativity can be taught, entrepreneurship can be taught, growing a business acumen can be taught. That's truly what I believe, especially if a person has a passion for it, the skill can be taught, you understand? So I was like, I can do this. You know, I can show somebody else how to come up with an idea. It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily mean it has to make them billions. Clearly, I'm here, it's not making me billions, but it's sustaining my lifestyle. You know, how can the next person who's struggling financially, who's struggling to find a job, also do the things that I did so that so that they can sustain themselves in the small ways that they sustain themselves. You know, so from everything, coaching people to build their businesses, to get a job, how to go about in the job industry, is all self-taught. You know, obviously I do get some formal training here and there, studying, so that I can just sort of like formalize it and really, really know my thing. But majority of it is self-taught from my personality, from my characteristics, and from my strengths, you know. And even when I coach people, particularly when they want to get a job or change their careers, I usually teach and instill confidence, you know, and I teach them how to navigate the world of careers, putting aside the qualifications that they have, because all the jobs that I've had have never had anything to do with my qualifications. It was all about me as an individual, how I'm able to articulate myself, how I'm able to speak in front of people and just own the room. So I try to teach that in my coachings, whether be it business, entrepreneurial, or career development coaching. So by people connecting with me, that's what they would be getting from me. Just being your authentic self, and if you have a passion for it, the skill can be taught, and that's how we fuse the two in coaching. Yeah.
Wow, that's really dope. So I think for our benefit, right? I like to be visual, in terms of when someone tells a story. So when you tell us about your I don't know, childhood, or as you were growing up, can you take us through the geography, in terms of where that is? And then secondly, can you think of maybe a single, maybe more than one incident, or maybe a human being that you would say this is something that played a huge role in you becoming the way that do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it sounds like with every challenge that you've encountered, you become much more resilient and pressing towards, how do I find a solution, and how do I make this work for me? How can I grow from this, this situation? Where do you get that, or how was that instilled in you?
Okay, so I'm from Carltonville, the mining town. People popularly know it as a mining town, but I'm from the township next to Carltonville. So Kutzong is like the township of Carltonville, right? So I grew up with my grandparents in the location, the township, but my parents were in the town, the suburbs, so to call it. So I think there's two things actually, if I think deeper, that has, maybe using the word, that has groomed me into becoming who I've become, and really just taking the path that I took, has to be my township to begin off with, right? And then secondly, it had to be my school teachers, right? And I will mention one particular incident with our principal back then. So let's start with my township where I grew up. There's really, it's a mining town. Everything and everybody there, after finishing school, everybody's headed to the mines, you know? It's sort of like the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And it was very rare for people in my township, especially literally in close proximity to me, the kids around there, for them to finish school and then head to varsity, you know? So I was literally, not to say the first one, but the first one who is well known, because I was a very, very popular kid, you know. But I was the first popular kid to go to varsity, and more particularly Wits University. At that time, it was a thing of, you have Wits University, one of the biggest schools, universities. If you go there, you are the smartest kid and whatever, you know. So just from being that kind of a popular kid, a lot of people, even my peers, would look up to me, you know, and they would always just, and they were struggling, but I don't want to say I wasn't struggling, but I always seemed to be a little bit ahead of them. You know, like
Sure.
I said, being a very resourceful person, if I wanted to do this, then it came naturally easy for me. And then with them, it was just a constant struggle. And I would see how they would see me and then see me as somebody who can actually help them change their situation. I don't know where they got that lie from, but you know, some things it's not you, it's just the nature of things. Like the universe just has a way of putting you in a spotlight that you don't think you deserve to be in, or you don't feel that, why me, you know, like I don't have what these people think I have, I don't know what these people think I know, you know, but somehow that's how I was sort of like perceived back in my community with the people that were living closer to me. So they would constantly ask me questions. How do I do this? I want to get into varsity. How do I? Please help me. I want to start a business. You've done this. How do I, you know? And I think that built much of who I was. And I was like, oh no, I could do this. This is me. And it flowed naturally. I didn't even have to force it. Somebody would come and ask me something and I would have an answer for it that I had no idea where it came from, but it seemed to be the right answer, you know? I didn't struggle with that. And from that point onward, I pressed on and I kept on saying, how can I then step up and help a little bit more harder? You know, how can I step up and give people these resources? How can I step up and help people to get information, to get into the things that they want to get into? And then obviously when I got to varsity, my first company that I started and registered was called Kefilwe Lekabe, which I'm now, I think we've had that conversation, trying to resuscitate, you know, where I was providing mentorship to high school kids. I was going around high schools, giving talks. We've been to a township like Tembisa. You know, the idea was to start a media company in the community, you know, because I was doing broadcasting at that time, and I was like, let's get young kids into new careers that they don't know about, like broadcasting, journalism, right in our township. That at that time, hey, let me tell you, had I not stopped doing YouTube, I'm sure now I would have been a YouTube mogul. Because I started being on YouTube when it was starting to get very popular. It was not popular, but it was getting there, you know? And then I stopped because we wanted the money. I just felt like, YouTube is not a real job. Hey! So that's how it happened. And then I just worked daily, every day, to say, how can I bring what I know and then let myself know more to take that back to my community, you know? So that's what it is. So with my community building me, and then with my school, I remember I was in the top 5 for being chosen as a head girl. It was a big thing then. I really, really wanted the position of being a head girl. And when I didn't get the position, my principal said to me, this is a small position for you. There's bigger positions that you are going to fill in your life. You know, she said, he said to me, you might think this is a big thing, but there's bigger things out there. There's bigger leadership roles that you are going to be playing in your life. Trust me. And since that time, my whole world changed, you know, and I was like, I want that bigger role. I want that position that he's talking about. And I think automatically and naturally, you know, you know what they say, when you think of a blue car is the only thing that you're gonna see. You know? So I started thinking more about that. I want to become a leader. And then everything that would lead me to that started flowing to me, you know. Started reading more, you know, started doing more research, you know, and just capacitating myself with information. And that's what grew me. I think that thing of saying, what is he talking about? You know, because they would mention that you are meant for leadership, you know, because I was always very charismatic, you know. In high school, I was naughty, but charismatic, naughty. You know, I stood out from the pack. So teachers back then, they called it being a naughty kid. You know,
Yeah,
I
sure.
didn't fit the mold. I would question everything. If they said go left, I wanted to know why should we go left and not right.
Yeah.
You know, if I didn't like something, I would be the one in the class to stand up and ask no. People would always poke me, and if they wanted to say something but they didn't have the confidence to, they would come to me and please say this on my behalf. Please ask
Mhm.
this for me on my behalf. You know, so tying all of that back,
Yeah,
you know, because would you say that my teacher's always saying, you are meant for leadership, you're very charismatic, use that to change for the better, you know, because
sure.
I think I would use that to make people rebellious, you know,
Yeah,
because obviously coming from a school where it's like two races, two you know, different languages being spoken, you know, that
sure.
story, you know, I was just always fighting that. But
Yeah.
when they said rather use this energy, channel it to change your peers, you're a leader, look at how you can get these people to listen to you and do what you say. How
Mm.
about they listen to you and you get them to do positive things? And since that time, I took the baton and I ran with it, and I'm here.
Yeah, powerful. Wow, that's an inspiring story. I'm sure I'm not the first person to say you should write a book also.
Actually, you are. You are.
Am I? Well, seriously, I think, and the great thing, one of the things you've touched on is the position of influence that people like teachers, have in our lives as kids can never be underestimated. Um, so I think I want us to segue into um, what you do in terms of Ujimisana, and that kind of stuff. I mean, I've got this pot belly. This guy busy, guys, and we had a deal. We had a pact that but that went out the window like as soon as he saw your face. Alunamda, no, no. Anyway, so tell us about your passion as well as your business when it comes to fitness, how that works. If I want to get in touch with you or to procure, that word, it sounds so very corporate, to procure your services, how does it work? What's the benefit for me? You seem like a very nice person. Would you like go nice guy, or are you like, hey, it's a boot camp, yeah, no, no.
Not even.
Yeah,
I think now that you've mentioned that, the one thing that makes me very unique is the fact that I'm the most gentle personal trainer you'll ever find out there. I
mm,
don't like the perspective that exercise has to be difficult and it has to be hard
yeah,
or it has to be pushed down your throat. You
sure,
know, my main goal with my clients that I train is to make them enjoy every minute with me. You know,
mm,
to enjoy the exercises and the workouts that I make them do, so that even when I'm not there, because they feel good when exercising, they can do it on their own. You
yeah,
understand? So I think for me, it's more about making people enjoy movement more than making it feel like it's a chore or something that's gonna drag them every time they think about going to do it, you know? So I'm very, very gentle. I listen to my clients. I do what they want. You know, I
mm,
mean, they can I mean, I always say to people, anybody can go to YouTube and get a free workout. You know, the internet is full of free workouts, you
yeah,
know, but when you train with me, when you take me as your coach, you're taking somebody who first of all understands that you're an individual,
sure,
right? And your lifestyle and your needs are also very specific and unique. And that's something that YouTube or anything that you might get from Google that's free might not offer you. And that is why ultimately people will start a fitness program, whether they've downloaded it from Google or they see it on YouTube. 3 weeks later, they've stopped, you
yeah,
know, because there isn't that connection of, but this doesn't suit me. This kind of style of training doesn't suit me. I'm just doing it because it's written, lose belly fat when you do this 30-minute workout. But it's not individual. It doesn't understand what you eat, what your lifestyle looks like, how your sleeping patterns, emotionally and mentally, what are you struggling with? What are your capabilities physically? So when you take up coaching and training with me, most importantly is understanding these specific things that has to do with your overall health. You understand, and making sure that they suit your lifestyle, making sure that you enjoy them, and yeah, we shouldn't make fitness hard. We shouldn't make it scary. We shouldn't make it daunting. And also, taking me as your coach, it's more about accountability. When they say two chords is better than one. I'm the second chord when it comes to a fitness journey. Like I said earlier on, things that might come easy to me might not come easy to another person. And I think when I started my fitness journey with training other people, I realized that fitness comes so easy to me. I can go run and squat and jump and do push-ups. It's very easy. It flows. I don't struggle. But starting to train people, I started to realize and get into their shoes and be like, this doesn't come easy to everyone like I thought it actually should. Not everybody prioritizes exercising, and which is absolutely okay. We shouldn't make people feel bad because they aren't prioritizing fitness. There's certain things in their life that are a priority to them, you understand, and we need to accept that. And there are certain things that come easy to them and that might not come easy to me, So for me, going into the route of fitness coaching and really starting to understand my clients, I then started to say, how do I then make this easy and enjoyable for them? They can account to me. They can, even though fitness is not a priority to them, but when they do it, they can feel good and it's done and they are happy, but they don't have to always be thinking about it at the back of their head and feeling bad when they don't do it, So it's just about get into the habit, feel good after working out, enjoy it, and that's it. That's with me. If you're going to struggle on your own, I'm the coach that you are looking for. So yeah, simple and plain.
That's good. Tell me something. Last Konje, which year are we now? I lose track of time, and it's 2022.
2022.
So when we went into the lockdown, right, in 2020, especially the hard lockdown, how did that impact you from a business perspective? So, I mean, like, maybe take us through your journey. I imagine, in the kind of industry that you operate in, it was difficult to do those face-to-face sessions, etc. How did that affect you, and then how did you find your way through, those challenges?
Honestly speaking, for me, 2020 was an eye-opener for me.
Yeah.
And it was the year I think I worked the hardest.
Sure.
For me, business was not, in 2020, business was not affected. I was lucky and blessed enough because my clients were very, very comfortable with transitioning online. I was also very, very lucky and blessed because I had the gadgets for it. Because we also undermine how we say to everybody, go online, but other people weren't prepared. They don't have the gadgets for it. It's not everybody who has fast fiber internet. It's not everybody who has a cool, expensive phone with a nice camera that can stream or whatever, So I was very lucky that I had the gadgets ready when it happened. My clients were really, really awesome and they allowed to transition online. They continued paying me normally as they would. I just think that I would have, my revenues would have increased, but they stayed the same. No, I'm lying. They didn't stay the same. They increased, but not at the rate that I think they would have had the lockdown not happened, right? But at the same time, there were so many things that grew and improved about my business that if COVID didn't happen, that growth wouldn't have happened as well. You understand? So for me, business was very, very positive. I worked very hard from waking up at 5, my last sessions being at 8 o'clock there at night, because now it's online. People can just pop their phone and train whenever, from doing group workouts. I did group workouts as a way to just say to people, let's just train together, socialize, since we are all isolated. It was a thing, marketed my services online. So there was lots of growth, and my work ethic as well, my discipline as well. When there's uncertainty and you push so hard because you are uncertain of what's going to happen the next day. So there's also blessings hidden behind uncertainty. You just need to shift your mind to say, how do I use this uncertainty that I have for the better? So that uncertainty really, really upped my work ethic. It upped my work, my discipline, how I approached my work. So I'm thankful for it. It wasn't a good year for everybody. I'm sending love and light to everybody whom the year didn't go well. You understand? But I just want to say, always look at what came out of it. We can't change it either way. It happened, but there's always some light at the end of the tunnel that you just need to search for, that might have made you a better person, to say, but if COVID didn't happen, would I have improved, or not? So
That's really awesome. So you're running a special charity, but before we go into that, who's your customer? What do they look like? Is it Mzuzukile or Alunamda, who is 6 years old or whatever? Maybe just take us through that, and then we can move on to the current special that you're running, as well as how we can get access to your special.
All right. So first things first, I really, really, really love working with mothers, be it a mother who's working a full-time job, or being it a mother who's running their own small business, and also women who are also in corporate. But please get it right. I'm not limited to that. Everybody's open to come and say, please coach me. As long as our energies match and we are right for each other, But initially, I found that mothers with kids, with full-time jobs, really, really struggle at the end of the day to find time to squeeze in a little bit of a workout, So really, really being there to inspire them to do that. I love it so much. And it was not my first choice of a target audience, but the universe attracted them to me. As I grew in my profession, that was the kind of group that I would get more of. And I said, maybe this is what I'm called to do, And even people, like I said, women that work in corporate, we all know how corporate is so demanding to a point that emotionally they are exhausted, physically, they don't have the time. They're chasing the corporate ladder, and just fitness is just the last thing on their mind. So my target is always people to say, pause a little bit, and it's time for you now. You've taken care of the kids, you've taken care of business, you've taken care of work. Where is you in all of this? Because majority of the time, my clients, either they're struggling with sleep, they have lower back problems, they aren't eating right, they aren't having time to exercise. So we work around that. It's most of the time, it's never about, I want to lose weight. It's never about, I want to have a flat stomach, or I want to look a specific way. It's always about, I just need to exercise for the sake of the benefits that exercising will do for my mind and will do for my energy, and just to keep me healthy and moving, get them to be energetic. So that's the kinds of people that I work with. When somebody comes to me and the first thing they say is, I want to lose weight, I want to have a flat stomach, I'm like, we aren't made to lose weight in life, Life isn't always about losing weight. Please, 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 please. Let's first focus on you feeling great and feeling good about yourself, and exercising just for the sake of exercise benefits for your mind, your health, your heart, and your mobility, being able to move without aches and pains, and you know, that's the most important thing for me.
Wow.
Mm.
Sure. But mina ngifuna ukuluza weight. So I want to ask you then, how do I and maybe we should type it out here. Be it your fitness, personal training, or maybe I need a coach, right? It's easy for us to think that we've got things figured out, but there's a lot of odds, ne? And we can't obviously, think of everything or whatever. Just
I mean,
basically, yeah, I need to
if you
bounce
had
off.
it figured out, you'd be doing it. But if you aren't doing it, clearly you
Yeah,
don't have it figured out.
that's
you know,
true.
and that's the mistake that a lot of us make, thinking that I can do this, and then a week goes, a month goes, and you're still not doing it. You know,
Mm, mm,
so
mm.
let the
So how?
people who have figured it out help you to do it. If
Yeah.
you have financial problems, who do you go to? You go to the bank for a loan, you go and see a financial advisor. So even with your fitness, if you're struggling with your fitness, you see a trainer, you see a fitness professional. Just like when you are
Mm,
sick, you go to the doctor. You don't
mm,
go, you don't self. Well, there's people who self what. Oh, let's make it deeper. If you need surgery, you don't go on yourself, and you go to a professional.
yeah.
The same with us, and I think that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand about fitness professionals, and the respect that our industry doesn't get. People
Mm,
think that it's a hobby, it's a play nice thing, and it's not. We're changing people's lives.
mm,
I've had a client who was pre-diabetic. So for her not to get to a point where she is fully now diabetic, her doctor said, you need to start training, you need to start exercising, you need to start eating right. And she knew that she won't be able to do it on her own. You
yeah.
understand? So then you reach out to a fitness professional. That's why I'm saying that we are saving lives through the work that we do. And people need to see us in that perspective. They need to stop seeing us in, oh, they just help you have a flat stomach and a nice round butt,
Mm,
and bigger biceps. No, no, no. Yes, there are other trainers in the industry who distort our image through that, going around in their six packs, bragging and making it all look as if it's about your physique. But a true, genuine fitness professional understands it's more than that. Do you get what I'm saying? So,
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really great. So how do I get your services? So how do I reach you?
I'm everywhere. You can get me on Twitter,
Yeah,
Kefilwe Lekabe. You can get me on Instagram. My personal Instagram is also Kefilwe Lekabe.
yeah,
My business profile on Instagram, Grandest Version _lifestyle.
and
And
that's called lifestyle.
if they go on there, they'll find my email address, they'll find my cell phone numbers.
Yeah.
So that's what they can do. My email, cell phone numbers is on there. You can pop a DM if they want to. So yes, I'm all over. I'm not a difficult person to find. If you just type Kefilwe Lekabe, I'm on Google, guys. Google knows me.
What is your website, Kefilwe? Your website at
It's grandestversion.com.
grandestversion.com. I must check the spelling. Eh?
Yeah, it's it's
Because
version, not vision.
it's that time of the day where I need to double check. I've got it there on the screen. Is that correct? Ne? Grandest version.
I don't know. I can't see. Oh,
it's,
yes, I see.
is that
Yes.
like
That's correct.
version? Yeah. Okay. All right. That's cool. Then you're running this special currently. How long is it valid for?
For March only. For March only.
Yeah.
I don't believe in discounts or anything like that.
Yeah.
the reason why I created this discount special was really as a way of being grateful and showing gratitude. You know, too many times things go so right in our lives and you just think, how do I give back? You know, not in my own personal capacity, but from my business capacity.
Sure.
And I was just like, why not? People's finances, you know, petrol is going up. Hey, everything is expensive, you know. Budgets are tight, you know, everybody's just going through the most. So what's the little that my business can do, you know? And then I was like, let me give off the 50% discount for all virtual plans. A whole 50%, guys. You don't get that anywhere. Hey, so that's just a special for being grateful, just showing gratitude, sending it out there to the world, to anybody who just needs to move a little bit, but nothing is working out. They need somebody to be there and support them. I'm pretty sure this is something that they would be able to afford.
Plus, it's International Women's Day. When is it? Is it on the 8th? I think it's on the 8th. I might be mistaken. It's International Women's Day. It's March, I guess now. Ne? I'll go on Google now. When is it, guys? This thing I wish. It's the 8th. Yeah, I was not incorrect. The 8th, which is next week Tuesday. So I think it's the timing is also very perfect.
You see. So who knows? Maybe one of you guys who sends me a message and wants to take this special package, who knows? They might keep that price forever while they're still with me. So you know, so they better grab it. They better grab it with both hands.
No, man, thank you, Kefilwe. I enjoyed our conversation. I think I'll hit you up, Sizo Jima. But I'm not a single mother, so I don't qualify. So,
like I said, it's not limited to, you know, it's not limited to, yes. I wouldn't say no to money. Whether it's male or it's female, it's money. It buys bread from the stores. So
that's so true. That's so true. Thank you very much for your time. We'll catch up. Man, the interview will live live, not live. I mean, on various platforms, Facebook, Insta, Twitter, and all of that. But I will send it to you as well. Ne?
All right, that's great. Just final words from me, guys. Please, please love your bodies. Don't think that there's anything wrong with how your body looks, that you need to shape it up to look a certain way because magazines are telling us this is how a woman should look like. You know, that's not true. Don't exercise for that. Exercise for yourself, for feeling good, for what exercise will benefit your life, you know, your productivity, your work, your energy, just how you connect with everybody else. And that's all. That's what's important. You don't have to lose anything.
Yeah, perfect. Those are powerful words, and it's also an investment. We need to invest in ourselves and be kind to ourselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Words ndinithanda nonke emakhaya.
Emakhaya.
Bye.
Bye.